Welcome, Game of Thrones freaks and geeks, to the Word from Westeros, the weekly Game of Thrones recap vlog exclusively produced for AllGeekToMeTV.net. I am Kait Calabro, and this is my show. And this past Sunday, Game of Thrones Season 6 finally premiered. And we are all super excited, even though, technically speaking, Jon Snow is still dead, whatever. I mean, we still have 9 more episodes to solve that puzzle, and I'm sure we're gonna get something, because homie ain't really dead. I mean, come on. Well, I mean, Jon Snow. You can read my theories, post up on AllGeekToMeTV.net to see what I think is gonna happen to Jon Snow, but something's gonna happen. He's not gonna be, like, just a corpse forever. Anyway, before we talk about everything that went down with Melisandre and her special magical necklace, here's your water cooler recap of what went down on Season 6, Episode 1, The Red Woman. So Jaime Lannister returns to King's Landing with Marcella's body, and shockingly, Cersei takes the news of her daughter's death pretty well because of that whole prophecy thing that we saw in a flashback in Season 5. Over in Dorne, the Sand Snakes prove that no weak men will ever rule again after killing both princes. In Meereen, Tyrion realizes that he won't be returning to Westeros anytime soon because the Son of the Harpy burned all the ships. Arya's blind and a beggar and being picked on by that damn annoying chick from the House of Black and White. Sansa and Theon are on the run from Ramsay and the Boltons, and when the Bolton guards finally catch up with them, and it looks like they're gonna go right back to Ramsay, when in comes Brienne and yes, Podrick, and they kick every Bolton guard's ass and save Sansa, and finally Sansa accepts Brienne's help and knightship, or whatever you call it back in the day. Let's see. Ramsay is reminded by his father that he's pretty much nothing but a bastard without Sansa and an heir. Dany is brought before a new Cal, and right before he's about to like rip her clothes off and have her stand naked in front of him, she reveals herself as, you know, rallies off her name, Daenerys Targaryen, blah blah blah, mother of dragons, and Khaleesi, and kind of saves her from being raped, but also backfires because now they will be taking her to this like retirement village for a bunch of Khaleesi's who are now widowed. So that kind of sucks, and let's hope that Sir Niceass and Lord Friendzone come in and save her, because if not, she's just gonna be like sitting in a room for the rest of her life. Davros finds Jon Snow's lifeless body in the courtyard, and he barricades himself, Jon's body, and the loyal brothers of the Watch in the Lord Commander's chambers with Ghost, while Sir Alistair kind of rallies all the brothers together, saying that killing Jon was part of, you know, he was a traitor and it was part of the plan and it had to be done, and now is taking control of the Watch. Meanwhile, Melisandre is like super depressed, and in the final moments of the episode, she reveals her true self to us, I think, maybe. I'm not really sure. We'll discuss that a little further now. Mirror, mirror on the wall, how old is Melisandre after all? I mean, this premiere episode for Season 6 gave us a lot more plot and story and action than previous first episodes of seasons. It's literally picking up right where we left off in the Season 5 finale. And sure, we didn't get a lot of questions answered, like, is Jon Snow really dead? Well, actually, like, he looks pretty dead in this episode. But, I mean, it was more exciting than prior episode ones. But the biggest, like, shocking thing that happened was in the final moments when Melisandre is sitting in her private room at Castle Black, and she goes to undress, which I thought was just like, oh, we haven't seen any boob this episode, so let's show some boob. She goes to undress before getting into bed, and she takes off her dress, and we say boob, and then she takes off her choker, and we go from seeing the Melisandre that we're used to seeing to an extremely old lady Melisandre standing in the room and then climbing into bed. So people are like, oh my god, what does this mean? How old is Melisandre? Is she magical? What's the choker have to do with anything? I mean, are we surprised by any of this? Like, I always thought that there was some kind of magic happening, that Melisandre has been older than she appears. I mean, the actress has said that Melisandre is like hundreds of years old. There's rumors that she's like 400 years old. We're not really sure the exact age. Only people in the entertainment industry and Hollywood would be obsessed of the age of a woman. Just saying. So we don't know her exact age. It wasn't like, now you're seeing 500-year-old Melisandre, like in the bottom. But there's so many theories, and people are freaking out now because of the Melisandre reveal. There's even like a theory that's saying that Melisandre might be a Targaryen. I don't know. I didn't really research much into that. But the big thing is, if the choker holds power, and if it's really the red stone that is glamoring her and keeping her alive, people are now thinking, well, what if she just gives the red stone to Jon Snow? And then he'll be able to come back to life and be alive. And like, that's possible, but I mean, the red stone was probably given to Melisandre. She's probably not dead. I mean, Jon Snow right now is really fucking dead. So I don't know how that would work. Like, would he be like a zombie like Jon Snow? Like, I mean, there's just a lot that could go on there. Then people are wondering, is this mean that Melisandre's more powerful or less powerful, and is her power really coming from the stone? I don't know. In my opinion, the choker is like a glamour that allows her to manipulate the way that she appears to individuals. I believe that she appears the way that the individual mentally wants them to appear. So like for Stannis, he wanted her to be this magical, beautiful, sexy woman, and then from there on, that's how she just looked. There's a other thing that fans immediately picked up on, and we're not sure if it's like a blooper or something that someone didn't pick up on set, which I find hard to believe, because if you watched any of the behind the scenes videos of what goes into making a Game of Thrones episode, I have a hard time believing that there was a continuity error on this show. There's a scene back, I think, in season 4, maybe early season 5, where Melisandre's in the tub and Stannis' wife comes in, and she's not wearing her choker, but she appears as the Melisandre that we all know and have seen before, not an old lady Melisandre. And people are like, well, what does this mean? Is it an error? I think it means what the glamour is. I think that either Stannis' wife was seeing Melisandre as her true self, or she's just seeing the way she was told to see Melisandre. So it's very confusing, and I'm not really sure where to go with it. And I don't think anyone's really sure where to go with it. The only thing I'm taking from this is that, like, what does this mean? Is this depiction of her taking off her choker, climbing into bed as an old lady, just showing us that she's like super worn out, super tired and depressed, and kind of losing faith in the Lord of Light? She's now seen several visions in the fire that haven't come true. One being, a bunch being with Stannis, and then most recently when she goes in and sees that Jon Snow is dead in this episode, she's completely baffled because she saw him in the flames fighting at Winterfell. So is this just showing us a completely deflated and defeated Melisandre? And that was the whole point of this whole choker, taking off the choker, and this reveal of how old she is, and just proving that she's tired and maybe wants to give up? Or is this just something that she does every night before she goes to bed? I mean, that choker doesn't look like something that would be comfortable to sleep in. And we're just finally seeing it. I mean, it's episode 1. Like I said, we have 9 more episodes to figure this out, but it is probably one of the more big talking points from this episode. So who the hell knows? Like always, I don't have an answer, and no one has an answer. You can watch any after show, listen to any podcast, and no one's gonna know. I mean, I just want to mention really fast, I don't know, I mean, everyone's been talking about Melisandre, but let's talk about that blood stain that was underneath Jon Snow's body when Davros finds him. It was so interesting that it even made Davros do like a double take. In the final moments of season 5, a lot of people thought that the blood stain from Jon as he was laying there dying looked like a direwolf. Now, when we open in season 6, it kind of morphed into what looked like a dragon with wings, and possibly even one fan, and I'll put the little picture up here, said that it kind of looked like a man riding a dragon, which would be super cool because of the long-standing ice and fire theory of the 3 dragon riders. And it would also further prove my favorite Game of Thrones A Song of Ice and Fire theory ever of R plus L equal J. Jon Snow is a Stark and a Targaryen mixed into one, ice and fire. So yeah, I just needed to throw that in. I mean, I know I was supposed to talk about Melisandre the whole entire time, but hello. Jon Snow forever and always. So yeah, I mean, yay Game of Thrones season 6. Only 9 more episodes to go. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of The Word from Westeros. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe to AllGeekToMeTV on YouTube so you never miss another episode of this show again, and also check out the other cool geeky content that we post up on the page. You can head over to allgeektome.net right now, immediately after watching this video, to read my full Game of Thrones recap before the new episode airing Sunday. And make sure to follow me on Twitter at Kait Calabro for up-to-the-minute Game of Thrones information. So until next time, remember, you either win or you die.